Everyone dreams of New York, LA, Miami. But what if the best places to live in America aren't even on the map? No traffic, no tourists, just jaw-dropping views and small-town charm. It might just make you rethink where home should be. Today, we're skipping the crowds and exploring 10 of the most beautiful, underrated places in America that no one talks about. Number 10. Dahlonega, Georgia. What if life felt like a storybook and you were the main character, waking up each morning to birdsong, the scent of pine, and fresh-baked biscuits from the corner cafe? That's Dahlonega. It's not just a town, it's a mood. A slower, sweeter, more sparkly kind of life nestled in the foothills of Georgia's Blue Ridge Mountains. Just over an hour north of Atlanta, the roads start to curl, the trees lean in, and suddenly, you're there. A town of about 7,000, Dahlonega feels like a well-kept secret you're lucky to uncover. And come October, the whole place glows. The Gold Rush days, festival turns the streets into a living postcard, filled with bluegrass music, handmade crafts, funnel cakes, and a hometown parade that makes even visitors feel like locals. It's a reminder that this is a place rooted in celebration, history, and heart. That legacy runs deep. Dahlonega was the site of America's first gold rush, and its shimmer still lingers in antique shops, old brick sidewalks, and the warmth of neighborly smiles. Thinking about making this home? It's surprisingly attainable. Rent averages around $700 a month, and groceries for two, especially if you shop local, land between $500 and $600. Fresh eggs, orchard peaches, artisan bread. You'll eat well here. Homes with dreamy porches and mountain views can run around $550,000, but there are plenty of cozy cabins and quiet cottages for far less, if you know where to look. Downtown pulses with charm. Gold panning stations, family-run wineries, and cafes that seem built for slow mornings give it a timeless vibe. Step beyond the town square, and nature greets you with open arms. Hike to Cane Creek Falls, toast the sunset at a hillside vineyard, or follow the Appalachian Trail just a few miles from town. Summers are golden and warm, peaking near 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Winters, soft and sweater-worthy, rarely harsh, always kind. If you've been longing for deep roots, open skies, and a little bit of mountain magic, Dahlonega isn't just calling, it's singing your name. Number 9. Bisbee, Arizona. Looking for a place that feels like a sunlit, hand-drawn postcard? That's Bisbee. Perched in the copper-streaked folds of Arizona's Mule Mountains, just north of the Mexican border, Bisbee doesn't just charm, it enchants. With fewer than 5,000 residents and more personality than cities 10 times its size, this quirky desert hideaway is pure, playful magic. Bisbee doesn't walk, it twirls. Down winding staircases painted in joyful hues, through narrow alleys splashed with mosaics and murals, past neighbors in feathered hats strumming porch guitars. It dances to its own beat, carefree, creative, and a little bit wild. One moment, you're marveling at an art wall. The next, you're swept into a sidewalk jam session. Nothing here feels planned, but somehow everything fits. The weather? As delightful as the town itself. Summers hit around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, but the mountain breeze keeps things easy breezy. Winters? Perfect for vintage sweaters, hot mugs, and fireside chats. And fall? That's Bisbee's moment to shine, especially during the Bisbee 1000 stair climb, a gloriously weird race meets block party where locals cheer in costume from porches as runners conquer colorful staircases. Mornings in Bisbee feel like a deep breath. Sunlight drips down the canyon, coffee wafts through the air, and the whole town wakes up like it's in no rush at all. Thinking about staying? It's more affordable than you might expect. Rent a colorful 2-bedroom home for around $800 a month. Prefer to buy? Historic homes with stained glass, clawfoot tubs, and sweeping desert views still pop up for about $150,000. Groceries for two run $450 to $550 monthly, especially if you're shopping local. Handmade tortillas, fresh goat cheese, and eggs from farmers who greet you by name. Once a booming copper town, Bisbee has reinvented itself with soul. The minds may have quieted, but the energy never left, it just shifted. Today, the town pulses with creativity. Musicians, muralists, writers, and remote workers have traded traffic and status for sunsets, freedom, and a slower, richer rhythm of life. The median income hovers around $47,000, but here, wealth is measured in time, space, and inspiration. Bisbee isn't trying to be trendy, it doesn't have to. It's too busy being itself. Number 8. Marfa, Texas. 1 minute you're driving through a stretch of West Texas that looks like a scene from a spaghetti western, and then, bam, there it is. Marfa, a tiny town of just over 2,000 people with more magic, mystery, and minimalist art than makes any logical sense. And that's exactly why people fall in love with it. Out here, the sky doesn't end. It just keeps going. The days feel like they've been stretched out on purpose, and time moves like it's been sipping sweet tea in a hammock. Summers hit around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, but the dry air makes it feel like a warm whisper, not a sweaty slap. Winters are crisp, clear, and perfect for wool sweaters and wine under a million stars. Rain is rare, snow even rarer. But stargazing? A nightly miracle. You haven't seen stars until you've seen Marfa's stars. Despite its big name in the art world, and yes, that real Prada store, standing mysteriously in the desert, Marfa is still wonderfully grounded. Rent can be a bit spicy at around $1,850 for a 2-bedroom. But if you're looking to buy, you can still find older fixer-uppers with desert charm and stories in the walls for about $87,000. Groceries for 2 will cost you around $450 to $550 a month, especially if you're stocking up at the local co-op and keeping an ear out for who's selling the freshest eggs or baking the best sourdough. The economy? It's less stock exchange, more soul exchange. Powered by tourism, creativity, and folks who've swapped high-rises for horizon lines, Marfa moves at its own thoughtful pace. With around 4.5% unemployment and modest steady growth, the town isn't rushing, and neither are its people. The median income sits near $38,000. But the real wealth here is time, sunsets, and stories you'll actually remember. And if you're lucky enough to be here in September, buckle up for the Trans-Pecos Festival of Music plus Love. It's like someone dropped a music fest, art crawl, and desert sleepover into one starry weekend. Dance barefoot at El Cosmico, swap stories around fire pits, and wake up in a vintage trailer feeling like a character in a Wes Anderson film. Number 7. Decorah, Iowa. Welcome to Decorah, Iowa, the kind of place where peace isn't something you chase. It's something you breathe in. Tucked in the breathtaking driftless region, with just over 8,000 residents, Decorah might be one of the most heartwarming small towns you'll ever discover. It isn't trying to be trendy, it's too busy being timeless. Here, strangers offer the friendliest waves, the grocery clerk knows your name, and a trail walk might gift you the prettiest wildflowers, the best pie recipe, and a story worth telling forever. It's one of the few places that truly feels like home, even on your very first visit, and life here? It's refreshingly affordable. Picture this, a sun-drenched 2-bedroom rental for around $810 a month. Or better yet, a home. Think wraparound porch, climbing roses, an apple tree that actually gives you apples. For about $175,000 to $225,000. Groceries here don't break the bank. Eggs for $3, fresh bread around $4, and local produce that actually tastes like something. A weekly haul might run you $120, give or take, especially if you get tempted by that pie stand. Decorah's got that small-town sparkle. Luther College pumps in the music, art, and good vibes, while the locals keep things delightfully quirky. Don't be shocked if your handyman moonlights as a banjo player. Coffee shops double as art galleries, and weekend tourists roll in for trout fishing and trail magic. With living costs 11% below the national average, an impressively low unemployment rate around 2.4%, and more remote workers swapping traffic jams for birdsong, Decorah isn't just surviving, it's thriving. And the weather? It's got personality. Spring warms up with breezy 60s and wildflowers everywhere. Summer hits the sweet spot, sunny, mid-80s, perfect for tubing the river or dancing at Nordic Fest. Decorah's big, joyful bash of parades, folk tunes, and left sea galore. Fall cools things down with crisp air and blazing color in the bluffs. And winter? Cold, sure, but it's the cozy kind. Think snowy mornings, 20s and 30s, snowball fights, and cocoa by the fire. If you're looking for a town where nature waves hello and life feels like one long cozy celebration, Decorah's already saving you a seat. Number 6, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Some towns whisper, Eureka Springs sings. And it doesn't just hum a tune, it belts out a soulful Ozark-born ballad that wraps itself around your heart and stays there. Nestled in the wild rolling hills of northwest Arkansas, this little gem isn't a stop on the way somewhere else. It is the somewhere else. With just over 2,200 residents, Eureka Springs is less of a town and more of a love story between nature, art, and time itself. The streets don't run in straight lines here. They meander, twist, and tumble like they've been sipping sweet tea in the sun. Victorian cottages cling to steep hills like they're in on a secret. And the springs, yes, the springs, still bubble with the kind of quiet magic that once made people believe in healing waters. Living here isn't just enchanting, it's actually doable. A cozy 2-bedroom home, around $200,000. Want to rent instead? You can find charming apartments for $850 to $1,000 a month, especially if you're drawn to those tucked away hillside views. Grocery bills? Expect $450 to $550 a month for 2 people if you shop like a local. Farm fresh eggs, wildflower honey, and jams made by someone's grandma, probably named Pearl. The economy hums along, powered by creativity and charm. Tourism and the arts are the heartbeat. Galleries, bed and breakfasts, musicians, sculptors, candle makers, innkeepers. Everyone's got a story, and somehow they all belong here. The unemployment rate? A steady 3.5%. Growth? Quietly rising, like mist off the lake. Nothing wild, just the kind of steady that makes you feel like this place is going to be just fine. And the vibe? Unreal. Come in May, and the whole town turns into an open-air gallery for the May Festival of the Arts. Picture jazz, drifting from porches, sculpture gardens in alleyways, and murals that seem to breathe. It's not a scene, it's a feeling. Step outside town, and nature takes over. Lake Leatherwood, Black Bass Lake, hidden trails and waterfalls, all wrapped in the arms of the Ozarks. Summers are warm and breezy, winters are quiet, gentle, and fall? Oh, fall here burns, in the best, most soul-stirring way. Eureka Springs isn't just a place you move to, it's a place you fall for. Before we explore the next gem, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Your dream town could be up next. Number 5, Port Townsend, Washington. Ever wish your favorite cozy novel had a zip code? Welcome to Port Townsend, Washington, where Victorian charm meets Pacific Northwest vibes, and every street corner feels like it's about to break into a Wes Anderson scene. It's a town that says, hey, want to trade traffic for tide charts and deadlines for dock walks? Say yes. With just over 10,000 people and enough gingerbread-trimmed buildings to make your Pinterest board cry, Port Townsend is the kind of place where time stretches its legs and strolls. On the northeastern edge of the Olympic Peninsula, it's hugged by sea on one side and forests on the other. Nature's power couple. Worried you'll get bored? Not a chance. Every September, the Wooden Boat Festival turns the harbor into a floating fun. Picture schooners gliding in like pirate ships that stopped for espresso and decided to settle down. There's music, boat building, and enough salty sea dogs to make you reconsider your landlubber status. Into artsy things, or just like pretending. The town also hosts film festivals, poetry readings, and yes, a ukulele festival. Port Townsend isn't just for visiting, it's for staying if you've got the soul for it. Rent for a 2-bedroom apartment averages $1,580 per month, and if you're ready to plant roots, homes start near $400,000. Stunning Victorians near the water list, between $600,000 and $850,000. The cost of living is about 7% above average, and groceries for a couple run $500 to $600 monthly, including fresh salmon from the docks, rosemary bread still warm from the oven, and honey that tastes like the hillside it came from. The local economy leans into tourism, maritime trades, and the arts, while welcoming digital nomads who prefer meetings with a bay view. With unemployment around 5.4% and a steady job growth rate of 1.3%, Port Townsend may be small, but it's quietly thriving, especially for those who bring their own spark. And the weather? It's moody in the best way. Winters are lush, rainy, and green. Summers are cool and usually top out around 70 degrees. Rain doesn't ruin your plans here, it writes the soundtrack. Think Seattle's artsy cousin who writes poetry and sails on weekends. Port Townsend doesn't just welcome you, it quietly dares you to stay. Number 4. Yellow Springs, Ohio, where sunflowers lean toward poetry and sidewalks feel like open arms. Yellow Springs blooms bright, bold, and beautifully different, tucked into the gentle green of southwestern Ohio. This village of just over 3,600 people isn't trying to impress you. It's trying to welcome you, and it does. Life here might just be the most refreshingly different you've ever known. You'll feel it in the barefoot pace, where nothing rushes and everything matters. The brightest murals you've ever seen bloom across alley walls. The best fiddle tunes drift from open windows like they were meant just for you. Even the sidewalk chalk offers you quotes, quiet reminders to breathe, smile, and stay present. This town doesn't follow trends. It leads with soul. It's the most heart-filled place you didn't know you were missing. Want to live here? It's doable. And down to earth. Cozy. 2 bedrooms, rent for around $1,040 a month, while charming cottages and vintage homes start near $275,000 for something with a garden and front porch swing. Budget around $400,000. The grocery index is about 106, just a touch above national average, reflecting a community that values quality over quantity. Expect to spend $500 to $600 a month for 2, especially if you're filling your tote at the market and the economy quietly sturdy. Unemployment hovers around 4.7%, with economic growth near 1.9%. Modest but sustainable, powered by education, tourism, and a proudly local spirit. This is a town where people carve their own paths. Teachers, writers, remote workers, herbalists, ceramicist cafe owners. They all mix under this shared sky, where ambition doesn't shout but gently builds. Step outside and nature greets you like an old friend. Glen Helen Preserve offers the best waterfalls and whispering woods. John Bryan's state parks, limestone, cliffs, and river trails are just minutes away, and every season shows up with feeling. Summers at 85 degrees, crisp fire-colored falls, quiet snowy winters, and spring so full of green they almost hum. Then come the festivals, especially the street fair, which turns town into a joyful swirl of music, handmade everything, and laughter that lingers long after the sun sets. Yellow Springs isn't about fitting in. It's about opening up, being more fully yourself in a place that claps when you do. Number 3. Hood River, Oregon. If a town could bottle joy and serve it with a view, it would be Hood River. Nestled in the Columbia River Gorge with just over 8,300 people, this Oregon gem feels like something nature and good vibes dreamed up together. It's where the river dances, the mountains nod in approval, and life moves to the rhythm of wind and wonder. You'll feel it the second you arrive. The breeze doesn't just rustle trees, it fills sails. Hood River is one of the windsurfing capitals of the world. But even if you've never touched a board, the energy will sweep you in. People hike like it's a habit of the heart bike through orchards, like it's second nature and toast the sunset, like it's a sacred tradition. Want to stay a while? A cozy 2-bedroom rental averages around $1,870 per month, and homes start near $600,000, climbing well past $900,000. If you're after river views or mountain-facing decks, it's not cheap, but you're not just buying walls, you're buying a way of life. Groceries for two run around $600 to $700 a month, especially if your cart includes wild blueberries, local jam, or that bottle of wine from a vineyard 10 minutes down the road. And if you're here in October, you'll feel it. The town's joy spills into the Hood River Harvest Fest, a beloved celebration of crisp apples, warm cider, handmade crafts, and music that swirls with the leaves. It's more than a festival. It's the valley saying, "Welcome home." Summers glow at 85 degrees of dry, golden, and perfect for river floats or market strolls. Winters cool to the 40s, bringing mountain snow and cozy, bookish afternoons. But through every season, one thing stays the same. Hood River isn't just beautiful, it's a town that invites you to breathe deeper, laugh louder, and let your life bloom. Number 2, Galena, Illinois. Galena, an amber-hued treasure where history whispers through every brick and balcony tucked into the rolling hills of northwest Illinois. This storybook town of just under 3,000 people feels like it was built for slower mornings, longer strolls, and lives that bloom gently, season by season. You don't just walk Galena streets, you wander through time. Cobblestone lanes, wind past gaslit lamps, and 19th century storefronts with iron balconies and hand-painted signs. Every building feels like it has a memory tucked into its mortar, and somehow it all still feels alive, modern in its comfort, timeless in its charm. But here's the kicker, it's actually affordable. You can rent a 2-bedroom apartment, exposed brick, creaky wood floors, and likely a ghost named Harold for around $1,100 per month. Thinking of buying historic homes, start near $250K, and for $400K, you're living that wraparound porch life with river views and enough curb appeal to make HGTV weep. Groceries for 2 people usually cost about $450 to $500 each month, especially if you like picking up fresh produce at the weekend farmers market, or can't resist the local bakery with those cinnamon rolls that feel like a little piece of heaven. And the overall cost of living, it's just 81.1 lower than most people's stress levels during a busy week. If you love crisp air-changing leaves and the magic of small-town charm, then come October, the Galena Country Fair takes the town from cozy to full autumn rom-com. Picture kettle corn in one hand, cider in the other. Wandering through handmade booths while folk music floats through the hills. It's sweater weather, pumpkin-scented joy. And no, you cannot just stop by for a few minutes. Galena isn't just a place you visit, it's a place you accidentally fall in love with and start looking up real estate listings for. Number 1, Sitka, Alaska. What if your backyard was a rainforest, your neighbor was a bald eagle, and your morning commute involved mist, mountains, and maybe a whale sighting? Sitka, Alaska isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Tucked between Emerald Mountains and the wide-open Pacific, this little island town of about 8,000 people feels like the world stepped back, took a deep breath, and decided to stay wild here. Mornings arrive wrapped in mist. The air smells like salt and spruce, and the cry of seabirds greets you before your coffee does the weather moody and magical. Sitka has a cool oceanic climate. Think soft rain, misty afternoons, and skies that change like a mood ring. Summers hover around 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Gentle and green. Winters stay mild, but wet with rain, tapping on rooftops like a lullaby. It's a place where the clouds kiss the mountaintops and the town wears mist like a favorite sweater. Sure, paradise has a price. Rent, high. Think $2,000 plus for a 2-bedroom groceries between $700 and $900 a month for 2. Unless you're catching your own salmon, and many do. The cost of living is up there, about 17% higher than the US average. But you're not paying for fast food and freeways. You're buying into something richer. Beauty, peace, community, and the kind of silence that heals you. The people here. Gritty, warm, and deeply rooted. Park rangers, teachers, artists. They come for work, but stay for wonder. With a median household income over $100,000, Sitka's not just surviving, it's thriving. And every June, the whole town sings, literally. The Sitka Summer Music Festival transforms this remote speck on the map into a stage for world-class chamber music. Picture violins echoing through old churches, laughter spilling from community halls, and mist hanging gently in the air. It's joy in its purest form. But the real show, it's outside. Tongassett National Forest stretches endlessly in one direction. The ocean sparkles in another. Sea lions, whales, otters, puffins. This is your neighborhood. And just offshore, St. Lazare Island rises with its volcanic cliffs and seabird colonies like something from a dream. Sitka isn't for everyone. But if you're the kind of person who feels most alive in the rain, who finds music in the trees and freedom in the fog, Sitka might just be calling your name. We hope you loved exploring with us today. Tap the screen for more content like this. See you in the next adventure.